In this video, we're going to focus on the Chartjs array axis and more specifically on the category axis in the Chart.js. So this is very important because this is basically not really an array function in JavaScript, but something that is built into Chart.js, which can be very useful if you want to control and display, for example, the amount of data being shown at a time. And this is a part of the Chart.js array series. So let's start and explore how we can do this, because once you see it, you will understand the real value of this. All right. So what I'm going to do is, because we have here a huge amount of code, I'm going to delete all of the code that is not applicable for our case here. So I'm just going to remove everything here. And except for this here. So what we're going to do here basically is the following. Let's remove all of this as well. Alright, if I save that, refresh, we have just a very straightforward bar chart. And what we want to do here is we want to add up more data points here. So I'm going to include here, or I will multiply this 3 more times, or I will basically multiply it by 3, so I won't add a few more items in here. But to do this, I need to first specify the week. So I say here, this will be week 1, this will be week 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. So then what I will do is I'll just copy this and add it up here 2 more times. We'll paste it 2 more times. So this is 1, and then comma here, and 1 more time. There we are. So now we have this, and we should have in total 18 weeks now specified. So let's add up all the numbers here. 10, 11, 12. This will be 13. 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. All right, so we've got this now. What I want to duplicate as well is, let's remove all this here, no need. What I want to duplicate as well is the data points here. So we're going to put in these data here, and then we're going to just paste them in here 2 more times. This here below we can maintain. So what will happen if we refresh here now? Now we have all these weeks here. However, you can imagine if you have a huge amount of data, this is becoming very tough to read. Or specifically, let's make our screen smaller. Let's assume we have a mobile version here, and this is just not readable for your viewers. So how can we adjust this? Well, let's start and explore here. Basically, in here in the options, you have the scales here. And in the scales, we're going to modify the x-axis. And in here, let's put in comma. We're going to say the following. We will say that this scale is a Cartesian type, and then we say here this is a category. So with this, it means that we can now filter out strings of text in an array, and that's what we want to do here. So we say here comma, and then what do we want to show? Well, for example, we want to show by default a certain amount of values. Let's say we want to show starting from week 2 up till week 5. So that's what we're going to do here. So we say here min. We say here in quotations, and make sure that it's exactly identical spelled, including the capitalized letters if ever they are. So week number 2, all right, comma, and then we say here max. This will be week number 5. If I save this now and refresh, you can see now it shows these data points here. We can make it week number 6, so we have 5 data. That's more than enough here. There you are. So this is quite nice. So with this, you can of course do far more. So let's create a function, and then when we click on a button, it should show the other weeks or specific weeks in that range. Let's say week 8 up till whatever is connected on that. So let's create this function here. So basically what we have to do is here we create a function, and this function we can give it a proper name. Maybe it's view or show data. Show the data that is related to our once we click on the button, and then here we can make here a value. That's fine. This value will be eventually an on-click option here. So in here, all we need to do now is basically try to pinpoint whatever we want. So imagine we have a button, and that button would have the value, or with the parameter here, let's say number 8. That's what we want to show on week 8 and onwards. So basically 5 data points here. So to do this, we need to pinpoint first this here, and reset or reassign the value here. So we say here my chart, and then we go down to options, scales, X, and then min. And the min will be the minimum value that we need to readjust. So we say here, then we go to options, dot scales, dot X, and then we say here, dot min equal, well, value basically. But what I want to do is, because this value here, this button will be a number. So we can just adjust this. We say here week, and then we say here, make a space, because it must be exactly identical, including the space, like what we have in the labels here, or else it won't work. And then we say here plus what? Plus the value that we clicked on. Alright, so once we have that, that's fine. And if you would save this, and let's create the button here. So I'm going to put in here a new button. I'll make it here HR, or horizontal line basically. And then we say here button. And in this button, you can say onClick. And this onClick will have the function show data. Why show data? Well, that's the function we named it here. So the moment we click on show data, this here would be number 8 for the week. And then we say here week 8, for example. So once we click on that, it will get the value here. The parameter is number 8, and then it will start to do week. The week, which is a string. Basically, this here is concatenation in JavaScript. So we do a week plus space plus the value here. If I save this now, oh, of course it doesn't work yet, I realized, because we didn't put in the update. So we say my chart dot update, save that, refresh, and now if we click on that, it works, but of course it doesn't understand yet what more. Why? Because we didn't put in here a max. We need to overrule this one, or else it creates this kind of errors here. So we do the same here. Basically, instead of min, we do max, but we need to do with the maximum value, we still need to do something else. This should not be here. We're going to give here a constant, and this constant is basically this. It is the we can call this max value, but then the max value equals the value plus 5, because we want to only show 5 data points consistently. So that's what we have here, and then we say here max value. There we are. Let's save that, refresh, and now if you press on that, you can see now we have adjusted it, and I realize it is not max 5. Here 8 plus 5, I guess it should be max plus 4. Then we have 4 data points, because now we have 6 data points. If I refresh this now and do again, there you are. And so we could add up new items, and you can imagine here, for example, the month, specific month data points, show it in here, and then it will start to show gradually. And this is slightly different than what you would say a zoom and pan plugin from Chart.js. Although it works very similar, but this will help you navigate more nicer. And in the next video, I will continue on, where you can put in a input button or input type with a value, and then we can show it also nicely. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you enjoy it. And if you enjoy this video, you probably will enjoy this one as well. And if you're interested in Chart.js, check out in the description box the link directing to my Chart.js course, where you can learn everything about Chart.js. And finally, of course, make sure you subscribe to my channel.